Strength, courage, and wisdom with a rich plan. Strength, courage, and wisdom. Strength, courage, and wisdom with a rich plan. Strength, courage, and wisdom with a rich plan. Strength, courage, and wisdom with a rich plan.
Hey y'all, it's your boy Rick McLaren, as you know it. Strength, Courage, and Wisdom. Every Wednesday, we are producing this show. We are on Facebook Live. We are on Mix Station Radio, Mix Station Live app, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, all under Mix Station Radio. Listen, guys, before we're just Facebook Live, but you heard all the other stations that we're on. We need you all to tune in. Thank you.
Courage and wisdom with a rich plan. Strength, courage, and wisdom with a rich plan.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. That's all I can say is good morning. Good morning to everybody. Hey, listen, guys. We're here this morning every Wednesday at 10 o'clock, as you already know, man. We are here. Hey, Karen Bryce, how are you? We're here to celebrate April. Oh, man, April's the month that we're doing some fantastic stuff. But as you guys know, I always start my show off with my sponsors, because without my sponsors, I would not be able to do what I do. Au Pair Law, MGM Haberdashery, Cashland Apparel, Cigar Diva, Sterling and Associates, Prominent Home Inspection, and Prominent Sanitation Inspection. I am Empowerment, Food for Thought, Lisa's Luxury Consignment Shop, Electric Butterfly, Diala's Fragrances. Man, those fragrances are great. Every time I wear her cologne, everybody asks me where I got that. And my new sponsor is Ballet Nouveau. And of course, my music, because you know every superhero needs a theme song by Marcus Bevins. That's right, I said it, by Marcus Bevins, man. Listen, so guys, as you know, the month of April, I've been talking about motivation, talking about inspiration, talking about encouragement, and just trying to get people from being unstuck, get things out of the way, because things are getting ready to clear up, and we're getting ready to move in a direction. A couple of things I want to say before we get started. Of course, I want to say that happy birthday to all the Tauruses out there. I don't think I know that many of them, but happy birthday to y'all anyway. So we're excited about that, and happy birthday to all the Tauruses. So guys, you know how to reach me through Facebook, Instagram, and a lot of you folks have my number. Give me a call, because we're doing speaking engagements now. We're waiting back up to do some speaking engagements, and we're looking forward to coming to your office or your business or your complex soon in the near future. So guys, listen, I always start off with a scripture. Because I believe it's a fundamental, foundational thing that I have to do. So as you guys know, we're talking about women today, motivating women. We're talking about encouraging women today. And there's a scripture, Isaiah 40:31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings of eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Woo-wee! That's a mouthful right there. That's a mouthful right there. Man, renew their strength, wings of an eagle, and run and grow not weary, and walk and not faint. So, as you guys know, every Wednesday, man, I try to have a special guest, man. And today I'm really excited, man. I have a friend. I have a young lady who's a friend. I have a young lady who is a business owner. I have a young lady who's a consultant. I have a young lady who is a counselor. And she's a mom. I think she's a grandmom too, I believe, too.
No, not yet.
No grandmom yet. No grandmom yet. But she's a mom. And we've been talking about getting together, and I was on her radio show. She's a radio host as well. A few months ago, I was on a radio show, and I thought it was appropriate to bring her on now because she's dealt with women over the last 10, 15 years and inspired women, encouraged women. And her herself had been through a lot and going on. And plus, I want this opportunity because she's always talking yak to me every time I see her. And I got a problem with that. So we're going to get it in today. Her name is Miss Symone Hurt. How are you, Symone? How are you?
Highly favored and blessed, and I'm happy today to be here on your show. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you and share some nuggets of wisdom.
Oh my goodness, that's what I'm talking about. See, guys, she's using the phrases already, nuggets of wisdom. That's what Strength, Courage, and Wisdom is. The show 10, you guys know that, at 10 o'clock on Wednesday. So guys, listen, as you guys know, the last 15 minutes, 855-493-6499. You can call in the last 5 minutes. You guys, please tell a friend, share this broadcast with somebody because this is necessary. This is needed. This is going to be eye-opening conversation today. So,
yes.
Here we go. You ready?
Yes, baby. Let's go. Let's do this.
My first question to you, you're a woman, and I want to know what has motivated you to do what you do, to be where you're at today?
Well, to answer the question, it's two things. It's a two-part answer here. My first true heart, love, and motivation was my grandmother. My grandmother raised me, and I'm strong through not only my trials and tribulations, but a lot of those nuggets of wisdoms that she instilled in me to be able to endure anything. She always told me to don't let your fears defeat you. You must get up. And there is another day. As long as you know your eyes wake up, you got another day to do it all over again, baby. Just try again. So that's my first motivation. My second motivation of how I got into actually motivating other women, I've been doing that since 2001 through a lot of the nonprofits that are here in Maryland, was because a lot of people don't know this about me. I was homeless for a time. Once my husband and I divorced, I wasn't working at that time. And so I had to really pull some bootstraps up and get some things together. I had two young males that I had to raise, and I was accustomed to a lifestyle that I just was having a problem giving up. And so I had to reach deep down inside of me and actually motivate myself to get past certain things. When you get comfortable, you get in a comfort zone. And unfortunately, for you to grow and for you to just expand your horizons, you have got to come out of the comfort zone. And that was my wake-up call, my slap in the face to say, hey, girl, you've been too comfortable. It's time to come out of the comfort zone.
So if you were to categorize three areas or three things that you did and to get out, what was you had to recognize it, and then when you recognize it, what did you start doing to put yourself in a better position?
Once I recognized it, it came down to about 3 or 4 things. One is that I needed to have a mind shift. I had to think positively every single day, and I had to believe that it was going to happen before it happened. Mm-hmm. So I had to keep that in the whole area of line sight of what first make a goal, believe in the goal, understand that you do not have to understand how to get there to the goal. But second, find resources. There are resources out in your community. You need resources with family, friends, anywhere that you can find it. But make the plan first so that you understand the resources that are required to implement the plan so that you don't waste a lot of time. And then the third one was that I had to change my work habits. Yes. I was a comfortable person, married. Now I'm not married. So now the possibility of me having to work 2 jobs instead of 1 was on the table. And I ended up actually having a full-time job and 2 part-time jobs just so that I could maintain the lifestyle that I had grown accustomed to.
Wow. That was insightful. So you're speaking the kind of same language I speak. And, I say set goals, write them down, focus on them, the big ones, prioritize them, line them up. And that's exactly what we need to tell these young ladies and young men.
Yes.
I know right now we're going to talk about young ladies today and young women today because we've been talking about men all the time. So here's a big question for you. I know you know the answer to this because your radio show probably addressed this. What's the biggest difference between women and men in getting motivated and staying motivated?
Wow. Well, first of all, it's Venus and Mars. You know that between
Yeah.
men and women. That's
Yeah.
the first thing. But just because you're on two different planets doesn't mean that they coexist in the same area and universe. So it is possible. You have to understand yourself first. It was one of the greatest lessons that I learned through being homeless is that I had to learn me all over again. I used to be a wife. I used to be this. I used to be that. Now Symone has to be her own Symone. What does Symone mean to you? I had to get down deep and understand what that is. Mm-hmm. So on my journey of trying to, one, make sure you educate yourself. Always continue to learn. I don't care how many degrees you have. I don't care what school you went to. I don't care what technical background you have. Still continue to learn because that's how you continue to grow. You're not just a facet that's on your job. You actually have passions and things inside of you that you need to go down deep and find out what they are. Start with that one thing. What is it that you would do for free? That's the one question. That will help you to unveil what your true passion in life would be. If you can't do it for free, it's not a real passion. Wow,
true. That's a true statement right there. That's a true statement. So you've been counseling women since 2001. What are some of the common pitfalls you think that women run into? Obstacles, pitfalls.
I love my queens. First of all, understand that we are all queens and we all need to help each other, check each other, and pull each other up. But a lot of times we get, as females, we get in our own way. We allow the thought process to overweigh us. Too much self-doubting. You have to not self-doubt. You have got to set those goals, stay focused, like you said, and believe it's happening before it happens. You've got to strengthen your faith. Your faith is what's going to help you to not drown. So I don't care how much water is around you. Your faith is that straw that you can put, that's in your mouth and you can still breathe, even though it's flooding, like wherever you're at. Women just get in their own way. And then we also trust too easily is one of the major pitfalls that I have seen along the way. It's great to trust in yourself, but you can't trust everybody. And I'm not saying not to do anything because you do have to do things and you're going to have to discern different people to be able to trust them. I always said, this is not a good avenue for me. If I can't trust you to keep my children, I know that I don't need to do anything with you.
Wow. Well, you said something there, the discernment thing, because I feel as though God give women that capability. They give men a gut feeling, which is kind of superficial, but discernment is deep.
Yes, it is.
You already know the answer. And I find that relative when you're dating most of the time. They kind of already know, but they still just like brush it away. That's a God-given gift that women have.
Yes, it is.
You need to start listening to that discernment, that message, that voice inside.
And every woman has intuition. That's how we can catch on everything you do before you've done it. Okay. Our bells and whistles are going off. That's how come we know. That's why we're digging. That's why we're asking the questions, because our intuition is already flagging us that there is a problem here. You might want to pay attention to this. See, all the men laugh when I say that because y'all know. They're like, what's she asking me that for? How she know I was there? My gut told me you made a detour. So where'd you go?
Well, I wish they would use their discernment a little bit more, but I want to say hi to my mom. Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Kate, my daughter Michelle said hi.
Hi, Michelle.
As well, Lisa's on from Lisa's Grocery Consignment Shop. Yo, everybody got to get down to Lisa's. And Bryce, KB, how you doing? Love you guys all, man. Listen, tell somebody, tag somebody, send a message to them. We want them to hear this. We're encouraging women. And, I always use Lisa as an example. Consignment Shop just opened through like a month before the COVID hit. She invested all her money in COVID.
Wow.
And she was going through a lot of stuff. What do you say to a woman that made the investment and you want her to keep pushing and keep going? We got to start encouraging these ladies and men, but right now we're talking about ladies, because she went through a whole thing, and God bless her, she survived the year. She still got up every day, went to work, opened up when she had no customers. What do you say to a person like that if she came into your facility?
If she came in to see me, I would listen to what she had to say, because you got to get to know people. That's one. And also, I would tell her, forgive yourself first, forgive the situation next, and then what are we going to do, sister? What do you need? Because once you forgive yourself, because a women, that's one of our key issues, is that we forgive everybody. We forgive everything and everyone, but we have a hard time forgiving ourselves. And we take on the negative aspects of a lot of different things, and we put it on our own shoulders. We just literally pick it up like it's not even ours. We just pick it up and put it on our shoulders, start owning it, and then wearing it, and then it starts weighing us down. We can't do that. We have to take it off. We have to forgive ourselves, then forgive the situation, because we're not in control of the situation.
Absolutely.
And then dig deep and say, okay, well, if we had to build a house, what do we need first? Let's get to the resources and let's get to the goals. What we do.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100% in that answer there. So listen, so we just went through COVID. We went to some we're still going through racial unrest. We're dealing with get the vaccine, don't get the vaccine. We're getting with shortages. We're getting infighting in corporations. We're getting fires and hires going on. And the reason why I decided to have this month in motivation is I sense a world depression. Not everybody, but a lot of people are in a funk and got a cloud on them, got heavy shoulders, whatever you want to call it. And I think that they just need to hear a word of encouragement, a drop of something that, even though they see the light, that you can get there, and there's a way to get there. So that's my whole motivation for April. So dealing with all those things, COVID, vaccine, racial unrest. I know you've talked to women and men, but more importantly, women during the course of this. What have you said to them?
Just to make sure that you have to take care of self first. Self-preservation in times of change is necessary. And you have to, and for women, we have a harder time understanding that, because we think that we just have it all to give all the time. And we're not understanding that we're depleting our cup. So you can't give to someone when your cup is empty. You have got to make sure you fill your cup first. You must drink from your cup first, then fulfill those family and friends. And then you have whatever you have left, you sparingly give that out. Some people, just because everybody's thirsty doesn't mean they have a right to drink. Now, I know that doesn't sound very nice. But that's part of self-preservation. You know, there's people out there that will drink all yours up when their cup is already full.
That's right. True.
So you need to get down with the reality of life. That's so right. Don't give all your fluids away for someone who already has their own. And that's where discernment comes in. That when you got to know people, people ain't talking no more. Nobody wants to talk and get to know and understand people. And you can't make the best decisions until you do those things.
I think that in my analysis of doing this talk show, I, especially lately, I see something that is a little disturbing for me.
Okay.
I believe that the woman is the stronghold of the family. I believe the woman is the backbone. I believe the women are stronger than men in a lot of areas, maybe not physically, but all the other areas. And I think there is a undertone, undergird that they're not aware of. Because we can see when a man's depressed, we can see him drinking, drugging, out in the streets, staying in the house, not moving. But women continue to move, continue to take care of their family, provide, work. They continue to do those things where a man would almost literally shut down.
Yes.
So women keep going, so we don't see the signs that we would normally see, like we see in a man. I hate to say that, but I do believe that.
No, that's very, very true. What you're saying is very, very true, because even as children, females are taught to just keep going, no matter what the situation. Just like, if a boy falls down, you tell him, get up, don't cry about it, don't worry about that, it's going to be okay. When there's something that's bad with the female, you're told you still have to keep going.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
You still have to keep going. And so we have actually grown and accustomed to having some bad cycles that, some women don't get out of. And this causes the conflict as to why you don't learn the lesson when you go through certain things, because you do have to take that time to step back for a minute and evaluate yourself and the situation. Those two things are very important for whatever you're in, whether it's a business meeting, whether it's home and family, whether it's the children. You really do have to, because as you get older, you will learn, I just don't have that much energy to be given to everybody.
Right.
Okay. And so you got to know when to do something and when not to do things, because as women, we have an actual habit of just giving way too much. We just give our love away. We give our time away. We give our conversations and words of wisdoms away. We just give everything away, where you do it to an excess where it no longer has value.
Wow.
And that's when you need to really understand that, no, I have value. And my value is not based on whether I know the answer or not, but my value is in the fact that I'm comfortable with myself. That's the value.
Wow. That was a mouthful you said there. And I say that because I think there's a visual view of men being depressed and going through things, and spousal abuse now, and like I said, alcohol intake, drug intake, but people are missing the woman. They're not seeing it visually, so therefore they don't pay any attention.
This is true.
And that's why today I wanted to have this conversation strictly to women about women. I just want them to grab a hold of one piece of information that you're sharing today and ride with it.
Well, look, one of the things I speak to with the ladies, especially my own African-American female women, don't be afraid to go seek help. Culturally, we have an issue with going to sit on someone's couch and discussing our issues and problems. You need to have an objective person to talk to. It is very important, because, see, your friends over time are going to pretty much agree with you most of the time. Yeah. Some of us just don't. I personally, you've met my co-host on my show is my best friend.
Yeah.
But we don't pull any plugs with each other. If she says, do I look fat, Nat? I tell her, yes, girl, you fatter than fat. Go change that crap. That's not going to work. Okay. See, I love her enough to tell the truth. And that's another thing that people need to understand. If you don't love yourself enough, then you won't tell yourself enough truths. Yeah, okay.
True.
So you have to love yourself enough and then start telling yourself the truth and stop worrying about other people trying to give you their truth. Know your own truth.
Wow. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Listen, and at 8:45, you can dial on the 855-493-6499, or you can make a comment or a question, and Symone or myself will answer those questions. And I want to say hi to Team Hunt, Judy Hunt. How are you?
Yes.
Yes. So, give me. I know this is going to be a good answer. What do you think is the major difference between today's woman and your day's woman?
Yeah, I knew you were gonna hit me with something like that.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold just 1 minute.
Oh boy, you just gonna put me out there like that? See, and he did that, y'all, because he know I'm gonna answer this question. I don't have a problem answering the question. Okay, well, I speak with a lot of young women today, and they really have it going on when it comes to social, when it comes to financial, when it comes to education. However, I think that the women of my day actually are much stronger in the areas of actually knowing thyself. A lot of young ladies have it going on, and they've checked a lot of stuff off the box in the list, but they haven't checked themselves off.
Wow.
Because, and I know that they haven't because of some of the behavior patterns that they exhibit when they're out. So, you know, you have to ask yourself, do I love myself enough to not, you know, say yes to everything? Do I love myself enough to not indulge in everything? Do I love myself enough to check someone out? Stop inviting people to your house. He ain't supposed to come to your house. He ain't did no work. Make him do a little bit more work before you be inviting these people to your house. Okay. So those are kind of some of the differences that my generation has versus the younger ladies. Now, the younger ladies, they hook us up financially and let us know some of the ins and outs and things like that. I applaud them. I love them to death. And one of my sayings is you need to have some young friends. They keep you young. I'm just trying to tell you, they keep you connected and they keep you young. But Jeff, you also have some wisdom to impart on them too, by letting them know that, you know, baby girl, you don't have to do it that way. And sometimes silence is so much stronger than you cursing him out. Just, you know, let him think about what you're thinking. He needs to do a little more work.
Let me ask you, so what I heard, let me put it in my little language, almost institutional versus domestic.
And I don't think that my age group, we're not that domestic, because they laugh at me because I'm single. I don't cook. I might cook one day a week, but I don't. What am I cooking for one person for? I'm not cooking for one person. I'll go out and get something to eat, and I'll eat that for 2 days. Right. So, you know, I don't do that. So I don't think we're as domestic, but I think that we're, we've had different types of relationships in which we were more connected. Our relationships for our generation, we didn't just connect with that person. We connected with their family. We connected with their friends. It was always a group activity. When I was growing up raising my children, there was 6 or 7 of us, and we were all moms together who collectively raised the children together. We all had the set of same standards and rules, and that's how the children were raised. It was a community. Right. Whereas some of these young ladies, you know, they do have some resources, maybe a mom or a grandmother, but they don't have a whole collective community, right? That we used to have. So, yeah, there are some similar differences. There, you know, the young girls got some great stuff going on. We as elder women, we bring a lot to the table. And what needs to happen more is that we both need to come together more so that we can meld that information together and become stronger as one entity, as females and women.
What do you think of the election of Vice President Kamala Harris meant to the women in a motivation sense?
Oh, it meant a lot. It did. I mean, it was fantastic to see that Obama was actually elected. You know, you need to see these things. It's no different than for young women, especially children, having their own Latino dolls, having their own African-American dolls of color, real color. Like now they have real color. Like back in the day, everything was just beige. No, we come in too many different colors and shapes and sizes for just a beige doll, you know. So it means a lot because it's important for young females, young children, to see another woman of color in a position of power. It empowers them to know that they can do that too. So instead of it being heard, they now can see it. So now we've got the hearing and we got the seeing. So now we got to get the brain motivated so that they can do. Nothing now is not impossible.
Wow.
You can see it and you can hear it.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Who are some of the women you admire and why?
Well, my number one woman that I admire is my mother. My mother is a very strong woman, very classy. You know, my friends call her Miss Bougie, you know, but I admire her she's taught me that you can not only have strength, but you can have class and still look good at it while you're doing it. I definitely love Oprah. Oprah, for me, from my generation, was an eye-awakening epiphany. Literally, like, look at this woman, how she has gone from being on the radio, you know, news radio, and then having her own show. So that was pinnacle for me and my generation, just like Kamala is for these young children. today. So I love Maya Angelou. She has some of the best wisdoms out there, literally. I have followed her. But I'm kind of a, a little spunky chick too. So I like Nina Symone myself. I like spice, I like to turn it up a notch every now and again, But what I'd like to get out to the females today is you don't have to have just one person that motivates you. You don't have to have that one person that's your end all be all. Experience a lot of different women. They have so much to offer. You'll find you'll have a lot of motivational places to listen to go, to read. Make sure, and that's one thing before I get off the show, please, everybody, read. Reading is fundamental. It stretches the brain.
Yeah.
Okay. And it also enlightens you to different scenarios. And it makes you stronger because of that. So I'm a big advocate for reading. I have a goal myself that even though I'm busy, I do a lot of things, I make the time to read one book a month. Literally, the end. That's just a goal, flat out. It has to be done.
You just made. We're gonna detour a little bit because you said something I want to address, and I think you're the right person that might be able to answer this. I need to understand the psyche of a woman, because I understand the psyche of a man. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to say, I want you to answer the best way you can. Guys, I can just meet a guy and we can dap up. And we good. We'll share information, job, what you doing, where you live at, what you driving, bam, 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 sports, basketball. We just automatically gel. Outside of the fact, maybe a guy, you just don't like him initially when you see him, but 9 times out of 10, you don't even know his name. Dap him up, good, boom. We even have a little conversation. But women, reserved. They don't have a group of friends. They don't have group activities like we do golf and basketball and all the bowling. Women don't have those type of activities too much. You know what I mean? Why? And I think that's one reason why the flower has not bloomed, in other words. You know what I mean? Because you like you said, you're combined to 2 or 3 people when you could be connected to 20 people that are good people to help you even grow more.
Well, this is true. It starts when you're young. Females are a little bit more cliquish, I believe. Where we get that entangled with 1 or 2, 3 females, and that's our world. That's pretty much it.
Yep.
And this is driven, you have to understand from a male's perspective, it's called safety. A woman's desire, there's something in us that we require and desire safety. That's a foremost for us. And so that's why we're not as eager to meet too many people, because there's nothing wrong with having a lot of different friends. I personally, I'm a type of female that I have many different segments of female friends. I believe that I can learn something from each and every last one of them.
Yeah.
But because women have much more, see how the questions that you guys talk about are more surface type information about yourselves. Females tend to have more intimate conversations.
Yep. Yeah.
And because they're intimate conversations, you don't really want to share all of that with everybody. And so therefore it kind of sets us clearly apart, the friends that we have. And then there's the social aspect. And we're more, I think that we rival a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Right there.
So, from a guy's perspective, and that is very, very true. And that is why men are so successful in business, because you guys, it don't have nothing to do about nothing. Just, hey, I'm cool with you. What you got? I got this. I'll switch this with you. I'll swap that information with you. Women, unfortunately, because we have to work a little harder to climb that ladder, we have to also protect ourselves a little bit more. And when you get more comfortable, like I said before, when you know thyself and you get more comfortable with yourself, you know that the only person who needs to guard your door is you.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happens, yeah, you can stand in front of a lot of different females without the trepidation or the fear of having anything happen. You are your own safety net. When you become your own safety net, that's when women tend to blossom more and explore more and are more of a butterfly that flits to a lot more flowers. And I'm okay to be over here and I'm okay to be over there, you know. So yeah, it has to do a lot with maturity, your experiences, and how much safety you provide for yourself.
Wow. Okay. I just wanted to get on that right quick. That's always been a question for me. I find it ironic. So what happens, well, we're going to talk about, you're going to be on in my month of July, I think I'm having more relationship conversation. You're going to be on that because I know that's your sweet spot, a relationship. So we'll talk about that. So give me, who are some of the men that you looked at and you admire and why? Oh,
wow. Well, I'm fortunate enough. I actually have two fathers. I have a biological father and I have an adopted father. And my biological father just passed recently, about 2-3 years ago. But my adopted father really brought to light the understanding of men for me. So I definitely want to give Mr. Robert Jackson Sr. a shout out there, because I didn't realize it until I got older, how fortunate I was, one, to have a father in my life that participated in a lot of things to show me what men are supposed to do for you. And he didn't just explain it, it was done. I mean, when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, my father and I had a date night. You know, he would tell my mom, nah, I took you last week. It's her turn. I'm going to take her out. And he taught me about fine dining, but you know, how to respond and act, you know, when you're out with a male, and things like that. And I didn't realize how many women don't have that until I got a little older. And then I was raising my sons and I did the same thing for my sons. Once a week, we would have our date night and I would, you know, take them out and we would talk and I would tell them, no, women really need you to be a little softer in this area. You got to make sure that you know, you're letting a woman know that you're going to protect her and that, you know, she's safe. Because once a man allows a woman to be safe, that's when you can get the real true woman out of her.
True.
Okay.
True. So what are your thoughts on, does sexism motivate you?
In what sense? What do you mean?
In regards that men always rise to the top and you struggling, and does that motivate you? Is that a motivation for you? Is that a motivation for women?
I know for some women it is. Me personally, it is not. I'm kind of a little old school. I like a man to be a man. I have a hard time really respecting and honoring when you're not. So I need a man to be a man. I'm very comfortable in knowing that I have a place, and my place doesn't always have to be competing with you. That's not where I'm at. You know, some women are, you know, you got very ambitious women, and I'm not saying I'm not ambitious. I'm more of the turtle. I'm just slow paced. I'm not in a race. I'm not trying to compete with a whole bunch of people. I just want to continue my dream and my goals, and I'll get there when I get there. But no, I think that what has happened is that there's been a shift, and females are now becoming more boss ladies. And I think that Rick, that's kind of flipped on the other side back to you, because you got a lot of males that are having problem with a lot of women who are bossing up. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about that, sir?
Well, I think like I said, it motivates me, man. It motivates me to see it. I love to see it, one, and two, it motivates me to inspire to do things as well. If they can do it, I can do it. Like, I hope that if I can do it, they think they can do it. But they've always hit a glass ceiling, whether it was superficial or real. And I know that frustrates. So I want to know, you know, how you break that ceiling. Because I think one of the biggest things that we as African-American men, we try to break ceilings and crash through the glass ceiling, and I think women now are taking that upon their shoulders too. It's like, yes, we're coming out now. We ain't playing no games. You know, we're motivated, and that excitement is what I'm talking about. Because what I know about women, if they love something and they're passionate about it, they're gonna win. You know what I mean?
They don't kick that door in, baby. Yes. You know what I mean? Any means necessary. Yes. That is definite. That really is. And it's motivating in the sense that, women now are getting more into entrepreneurship than ever. And you will find, and some of the reason, not all of it, but some of the reasons, because you got women who are very intelligent, who are very business oriented and motivated, and you do hit a glass ceiling. I've hit a glass ceiling, and some of those ceilings were cement. They just weren't cute and glass. They were cement quite a few times in my lifetime. But here's the thing. You can either be upset about hitting it, or you can either figure out how you're going to work around it, or you can create your own ceiling. Nowadays, today's woman is creating her own ceiling.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's what I want to talk about.
So, you don't own, and I have to tell people, look, girl, you don't own that building. That's his building. Go build your own building and let him deal with his glass ceiling over here, and you go do you over here. So, yes.
Well, that's what I want to do. I want to inspire somebody on this listening today or going to listen to this later on. I want to inspire them that if you run into a glass ceiling or a concrete ceiling, there's a way out. You can create your own world, your own identity, your own company, your own business, whatever you want to do. You don't have to continue to work in this, hitting your head against the wall, getting your head bruised all the time.
This is so true.
Time to move. And I think that women are such nurturers and such loving, they stay in situations much longer. See, when dudes are a little different. Dudes is like, yo, you hit me once, it's a wrap, kid, because we're going to go over here. So what we do is we go over there and do our work over there someplace else for another person or for ourselves. So I don't need to deal with this because I see this is going to be a dangerous environment.
Yeah. And that is an attribute of women that we put up with too much, too long.
Yeah, absolutely.
We really do. Because we have a mindset that either it's going to be okay, or because you're actually putting too much false hope in something. You're not looking at the real signs that it showed you in the beginning, and you've created now your own perception, and now you want it to be this, and you're going to help it be that. It wasn't that when it came to your door. It's just as simple as that. Men, they can look at that, sense it, and they're out. Then they're on to next. Women, we tend to hang around trying to make a bad situation good. You just have to, with time, experience, and maturity, learn for yourself when it's time to go. So
last week on the show, I talked a little bit with Ken Waller, who was a great guest as well. And more and more I think about it, man. I was talking about one of the things that was depressing me talking to me personally / taking up too much of my time was my phone, this apparatus, distractions.
Yeah.
Distraction. There's other distractions as well, but that one is the most prominent distraction, I think. Do you deal with that in any of your classes?
I do, especially with the younger females. They it's like their baby. Their uterus, they just can't let it go. Like, oh my God. There's a lot of that going on with the older women as well. Look, I tell people all the time, look, I grew up in a time where the phone was connected to the wall in the house. And the only time you talked was when you were standing there in front of the wall on that phone. Okay. Yeah. When you went outside to play, there was no disturbances.
That's right.
When you went over here to the neighbor's house, the only time you heard the phone is when their phone rang. I think people need to understand that you have to have time for you. You cannot allow anything of excess, and phones are of things now of excess, to control you. Things are really, I'm a businesswoman. I work a full-time job. I have my own business. I have 2 radio shows. I'm a busy person. However, I take time out for me. My phone has to go up sometimes because it's not about everybody. When is it going to be about you? When are you going to love on you for a minute? Take that downtime, because this is where we're not getting into our creative modes in our minds, because we're so busy with the technical aspect of this phone and being so connected that we're losing ourselves. Every hour you're on it, you lost time of thinking what drives you, how to improve you, what do I want to do in the next 1 year, 2 years. What's my 5-year plan? You ain't even got time to make a 5-year plan because you're too busy texting.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, so listen, guys, you can start calling in now if you like at 855-493-6499 or make a comment and we will respond to your comment. Liking Sandra on. Hey, Fatima, how are you, man? I got a lot of my family on. People are listening, man. I hope you share this show later on. These nuggets are powerful. I have the one and only Symone Hurt, man, and she is a powerful young lady. Let me ask you this question.
Sure.
I had a real question for you that was probably a little off-subject.
I'm trying to be nice, but come on.
Lord. Oh, man, I forgot what I was going to ask you. That was a real good one. That's why probably I didn't ask that one. That's for another show, I think, for another show. I guess I got to ask this question. Let me ask it. Here it is.
Okay.
Why? Hey, Andrea, how are you? I got this question for you. Why? And this is a little off the path, but it's a motivational thing too. I find, I don't know if I should say this, but I'm going to say it. Women always trying to find themselves in some shape, form, or fashion.
Because we're always consistently evolving.
Okay.
We're evolving when we're just standing there. we're evolving all the time. And the reason for that is because our brains are moving at a fast pace all the time. Mm-hmm. And because we have the capability of multitasking, mm-hmm. I remember a time I went through a major depression and burnt out because I was multitasking on a level of doing 10 things at one time. And it was too much. It creates an overload. But that's because when we start tapping into ourselves, we become stimulated and very passionate about, we love growing. We're nurturers. It's like having a plant, and watering it every day and watching it grow and celebrating, it's been 2 weeks and then grew a 1/4 inch. We're happy. Those are things that touch us in our spirits because that's what type of people and beings that we are. And it satisfies our nurturing sense. But when you nurture yourself, yes, there's a lot to us. We are complicated creatures. You men know that we're complicated, and the women know that have been looking for themselves and have finally found themselves, realize how complicated you really are. And it's all the time because I could be one thing 2 years ago, but now I'm on to next. It creates a whole new avenue of opportunities, fulfillment, educational ideas that have to go on to create the desire or whatever it is that you need. So yes, we are continuously always evolving.
Wow. Well, you answered that well. Better not I knew you had the answer to that. So listen, guys, 855-493-6499. Dial in or make a comment. I have Symone Hurt here. She's a counselor, women's counselor. She has good information. Also, we'd like to hear from you. This is why we have this portion of the show for interaction. Don't want to be just me and Symone conversating, but we will conversate. I have another question for you then.
Sure.
During the course of your 20 years of counseling women, what would be some more stuff that you would tell someone to help them get out of a rut?
Well, it depends on the situation. Mm-hmm. And as I have grown, I have learned that it's really not my job to tell them what to do to get out of the rut. I'm here to assist you to figure out how you are going to get yourself out of the rut. Mm-hmm. Okay. Too many times we are leaning on other people for our answers when really the answer needs to come from you. The issue is that there aren't a lot of people who know how to bring about certain things in you for you to be able to bridge your own gaps. Okay. Because I've had some conversations with women to let them know I'm just here to listen to you. And if you'd like for me to give you some advice, I'd be more than happy to. But if you don't want me to, that's okay. Because sometimes a woman just needs you to just listen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in talking, we will come up with our own answer because we hear ourselves talking. We hear ourselves. So sometimes, I'm that type of person for first and foremost, because I'll talk and then I'll go, oh, that's it. Oh my goodness. See, if I hadn't said it out loud, I would not even thought about that. So sometimes we just need to express ourselves to be able to get to wherever we're trying to go. So just the fact of allowing someone to talk is one of the key avenues for discovery. Now, whether, I discover it for you or you discover it yourself, but that's part of the pathway. Two major key aspects that I want to bring up is one, on my show, we talk about love languages a lot. It is very impertinent that you know your love language, because I tell people a lot, you're out here intermingling with other human beings and you're collecting data from them and you don't even have enough in your own book. And you're fulfilling your book with data from other people. And that's not how this works. You've got to know yourself better than someone else knows you. And so therefore, you've got to understand how you walk and talk with other people so that you can become the best that you can be. Because if not, then you will continuously always be swayed by someone else's opinion of you. That's where we come back to know thyself. Mm-hmm. So for married people or individuals who want to be married or are married, one of my favorite books I do suggest all the time, other than the 4 love languages that are out there, the 4 Laws of Love. It's by Jimmy Evans. That after I divorced, when that book came out, I've read that book 3 times. And because I've read the book 3 times, I am very confident to know that I would be okay in my next relationship, because it helped me to hone in on what those issues that I had in the past, how I need to address them and how I need to heal them. See, addressing them is one thing. You can address it and identify it, but you can't move forward if you don't heal it. It has to heal.
Wow.
And what most people do is they say, okay, I acknowledged it. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I did that. I could have did that better. But they don't heal from it. And all you do is take it into the next relationship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's powerful right there. Yeah, you're going to be definitely on my relationship show come up in July. No question there. So in closing, we're going to close shortly here, guys. If you have any comments and you would like to ask a question of Ms. Hurt or myself, or make a comment, that's fine as well. Please do so at this time. The number is 855-493-6499. In closing, first I want you to definitely give your information, how folks can get a hold of you and how they can watch your show and things of that nature. But then after that or before that, just drop a nugget for women, man. Drop something on your spirit. You say it's on your spirit for women to stop carrying the loads of others and stop dumbing yourself down. Mm-hmm. Get motivated. This show is about getting motivated, getting re-inspired, get rejuvenated, get that bolt of lightning in you to get you keep going and going forward. What would you say?
Okay. Well, people can reach me at my email right now. That's shurt, SHURT 83 @gmail.com. That's the best way to reach me, because I have several emails, but that's the best way to reach me. My business is actually getting a tweak or two of things. So that will probably won't be out until the summertime. I'm actually, instead of it just being me, I've decided to go ahead and just branch out and get some more extra employees and actually help more people. So that's my goal for that. And so I will let you know when that comes up. And as far as leaving a nugget for women, if I had to leave that last thing on their minds before the end of this show, is stop fearing failure. Stop fearing failure. That's what's in your way.
Explain
it's okay.
That.
It's okay to fail. It is. Failure is nothing but riding a bike. You don't You know, as a child, you weren't afraid to get on the bike. You rode the bike, you fall off the bike. You're going to scrape your knee, you're going to hit your head, you're going to do a couple things, bumps and bruises along the way. But eventually, because you were persistent, you met the goal. So stop fearing failure. Failure is not an option. It just is not. It's just not. One of my sayings, that I always have up on my board or on my wall, it's not here because I'm not in my office today. Being challenged in life is inevitable, but being defeated is your option.
Wow. Tell them about the radio show.
Well, you can reach me at loveluv.network.com. And I'm part of a Love Radio group of us that inspire. I have 2 shows. I have a show on Wednesdays called Couch Chronicles that runs from 9 to 10 p.m. on Wednesday nights. And I host that with my best friend. We literally grew up to get together from the cradle. And I have a ball on that show. That's my outlet. I get to talk about anything I want. And I actually have a sex series on there that some of y'all might want to check out. It's called Kinky Sex. So are you a kinkster or are you not? So go ahead and check it out and find out. Okay. Then on Thursday night at 7:30, I'm part of a women's series. We have Ladies Night on Thursday that goes from 7 o'clock to 9:30. And I have wonderful ladies, various different topics. But mine is business oriented. I actually interview a lot of business men and women, organizations, anybody that's willing to be on, just people I meet throughout the day or anywhere I'm at. And I ask them to come on my show and inspire people, tell people that this can happen for you too. You can do anything you want to do. You just got to believe that you can do it.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Well, listen, guys, as I share with you guys every week, man, I try to bring on guests that have something to say, something of value, some nuggets to drop to you all. I think this month of April being Motivation Month, I had to attend to all bodies. So I talked about men in general. I talked about couples. We're talking about women today, and I have the one and only Miss Symone Hurt, who's here to share with me this information. I've learned a lot. I can tell you that now. I've got some notes here. She answered every one of my questions almost to the T like I thought she would, because she's a professional and she knows what she's talking about. So you guys need to reach out to her. I can tell you this now, the Couch Chronicles, off the book. I have not.
Off the chain.
The other one, the Couch Chronicles is crazy. I don't know if I can make that show again. The girls got me, they got me bad. So that's interesting. That was interesting.
And we were gentle with you. We really were.
Yeah, I know you were. I appreciate that. But I want to say thank you to all my guests and people. Please share this video with your sister, your daughter, your auntie, your grandmom, your mom, a kid, anybody, because I think they need to hear some of this. The thing she said about self-love is so important. Ladies need to play this again and hear it again. Some of the nuggets that she dropped are so powerful. She talked about trust and self-doubt. She talked about mind shift and goals and priorities and things of that nature. We need to start looking at these components, because during these times, I'm telling you, man, and she has to talk about faith as well, which is very important. Because during these times, you're going to need everything you can muster up through. Even males got to do it. Females have to do it as well. But men don't wear it well. Women wear it well. So we can't see it. It's undercover. And we got to sometimes ask the important question, lift up the lid, and see what's going on with the women today, because they're so strong and mighty. They don't show it as we show it. You know?
Right.
I can see a man from across the room and tell you he's going through something. But a woman, you can't. She has this capability to mask it, hide it. Men can't. They wear it. Even they walk. Like, you used to walk different, man. What's going on with you? Yeah. You know what I mean? Oh, man, I'm going through right now. You know what I mean? Men are it's kind of crazy. But that's why I say women are strong. And I want to say this. You are strong and mighty. Listen to me. You're strong and mighty. But at the same time, sometimes you need help. And one of the biggest things she said is one of my cries out to everybody. If you need help, seek it, go get it. It's important. There's people out here to do this for a living. They know the answers. They know how to help you navigate these hallways and byways. There's no reason why not to go. If your foot hurts, you're going to go to a foot doctor.
That's right.
If your heart hurts, you're going to go to a cardiologist, right? So listen, if your brain is all confused up and you're a little depressed, you need to go see a psychiatrist.
Yes.
ASAP.
Let them help you through whatever you're going through, because we as much as we can love ourselves, that doesn't mean that we have all the answers for ourselves. So sometimes you need a little assistance from an outside bipartisan party, to actually help you see something that you're not seeing or hear something that you're not hearing.
I got to share this with you. It's so funny. I was married, and when I was married, I went to this marriage counselor. I was kicking and screaming. When I was talking about kicking and screaming, no, I'm a black man, I'm proud, I don't need no help, I know what I'm doing. But meanwhile, my thing was crumbling all around me, right? I mean, crumbling. And we went to this counselor, this old white man, no joke. Mm-hmm. And he heard our story, and he sat there, and because he knows his craft, and nothing's new under the sun for him, this is what we have to do. If you want to repair this, this is what you have to do. As a male, you have to do this. As a woman, you have to do this. And as a couple, you have to do this.
Yes.
He gave us the directions, the pathway, the book, because he knew what these are common areas. There's nothing new under the sun. Ain't nothing we said was new to him.
Right. He's heard it all before. Yes. Isn't
that something?
Uh-huh.
I found that surprising because he was an old white guy. I thought he couldn't jive with the way I was kicking in. Man, I'm all emotional in my hand. He was like, okay.
He's also a man, Rick. He's been there, done that. He's already done that already.
And that counseling thing was the most powerful thing I ever did in my life. And
it's very powerful. If you really want to overcome some things in your life, especially yourself, I 100% in agreement believe that you should sit down and really talk to someone and let them peel some of your onion back.
Amen. Let
you understand who you really are, because some of us are sweet onions, some of us are pungent onions. Some of us are a little different. And then sometimes you might find out you're not an onion at all. You might be a green pepper.
Yep, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. So, you walking around with the onions and you don't even fit in. Look at that. You didn't even know that. You looking in the mirror every day and didn't even recognize yourself. So this is why that's so important. It really, really is. And people stop being afraid to talk to somebody. And because a lot of times we have things that are so deep down in us that we keep suppressing, is why we keep having issues. So if you are continuously having an issue, that's because you're not addressing the real problem. So you need to be able to learn to express yourself, make some room, put some air in them lungs so that you can let some stuff start flowing, because we have childhood traumas that is still stuck in our stomachs that we're not allowing to come up.
Wow. I think there's something you said earlier that I want to end on that you said. It was one thing recognizing it, and then you said the other thing, we don't know.
You have to heal it. Yeah, some of us don't know what to do to heal it. So It's an educational venue for you, because once you identify it, it's not over. That's not the end all. Understanding it, acknowledging it, and realizing it, it's what is it that you have to do to heal it for yourself? Because everybody is different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when you start learning how to get certain things and start healing certain things, you can blossom a lot stronger, a lot longer, and you can hold your own. There's nothing more sexier than a strong woman that is still looking like a flower. I'm just going to tell you.
Yes. Amen to that. Thank you, guys. I want to thank you all. I want to thank you, Symone, and I will have you all again. Especially when we go on a relationship series. I know you guys are
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I want that. Symone, she in my ear. I'll be like, girl, you looking at my ear? You know what I mean? So, But listen, man, God bless you. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this show. I want to say thank you to everybody. Please share this with a young lady. Please, somebody. My whole mission with this whole show is, of course, give me information and give me some blessings as well. But more importantly, just one person, Lord have mercy, one person I want to give them a nugget, make them take a right when they normally would have took a left. Make them stop in their track and say, oh, I'm going to change today. That is what I'm looking for.
Yes.
I'm praying that the show did that today. Please share the show. Send it to your friends. Send it to everybody. God bless you. Thank you so much. And
Don't fear failure. Dare to be you.
There you go. Thank you, Symone.
You're welcome.
All right, dear. All right, everybody. Later.
Strength, courage, and wisdom with a rich return. Strength, courage, and wisdom. Strength, courage, and wisdom with a rich return. Strength, courage, and wisdom with a rich return.
Yeah, see, every superhero needs a theme song.
Wisdom with a rich return.
Hey y'all, it's your boy Rick McLaren, as you know it. Strength, Courage, and Wisdom. Every Wednesday, we are producing this show. We are on Facebook Live. We are on Mix Station Radio, Mix Station Live app, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, all under Mix Station Radio. Listen, guys, before we're just Facebook Live, but you heard all the other stations that we're on. We need you all to tune in. Thank you.